Good afternoon, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progressives, and I'm coming to tell you guys about the coming economic collapse. The collapse of the entire system is coming to a theater near you someday, okay? Folks, I'm trying to understand why it is in our interest as human beings to chase this concept that the sky is falling and that we're powerless and there's nothing we can do about it and it's hopeless and the end. And quite frankly, I don't understand why that is the case, but I'm finding, hey, the word on the street is there's a coming economic collapse. It's always being produced. It's always being touted. There's always a new conspiracy about the coming economic collapse. And it's always based on some fantastical version of money creation, always some fantastical version of we're out of money, somehow or another the world is broke. There's no way to get more money in. And so over and over again, we end up dealing with people that are screaming and yelling that the sky is falling, and that there's nothing we can do whatsoever, and that we're completely and utterly powerless unless we burn it all down. Got to burn it down or we're powerless, right? And, you know, it never comes to fruition. It's always, unfortunately, the go-to for many of the crazy on the right and many of the friggin' uneducated on the left. It's like the Dollarati really hyped this narrative, and it's like, I don't understand why being powerless is like so attractive to some. Why they enjoy the idea of saying they have no power, no ability to impact what's going on. And then when they do, it always comes down to some bizarrely masochistic non-answer for what they're going to do to fix it. Okay? Now, I'm not going to mention any names because I'm just not going to stoop to doing that. First of all, these people don't deserve any publicity whatsoever on their own merit. They're really cancers to society. But the things they say end up getting back to me as usual. And one particular dullard is running around talking about how there's trillions of dollars of counterfeited US dollars floating around the world. And unless we get rid of these counterfeited dollars, doesn't want to hear anything about economics, blah, blah, blah. And so you and I, we have to die while they find the counterfeiter of this money. Literally, you and I have to fucking die for them to find this conspiracy out. Now, if you're okay with those kinds of people and them having a voice to destroy lives, knock yourself out. It's a free country. Horrible people, worthless people are allowed to speak. It's like a First Amendment thing, I think. But the deal is this. I'm not going to give them any airplay. I'm not going to sit there and go toe-to-toe with people that can't even talk about the most fundamental basics of economics, that don't understand the fundamental basics of how the system actually operates, not the way their bullshit in their ears operates, not the way Alex Jones and Ron Paul and all the rest of them operate, and all the other weird shit that goes on in the friggin' dark recesses of the universe where weird people exist and hold on to conspiracies. I'm not going there with you. Sorry, I value life and I value my time more than you do, apparently. And I'm not giving you a platform so you can spread your worthlessness, okay? I am sitting here telling you point blank, there is no coming economic collapse. The only way an economic collapse comes is not because of the dollar, not because of the Federal Reserve. It would come as a direct result of our Congress refusing to write laws and refusing to write controls and refusing to spend money into the economy as it leaves the economy, as it's saved out of the economy, etc. So this coming economic collapse has nothing to do with the dollar. It is absolutely horrific that these people exist, much less have a functioning mouth. But accepting, it's kind of like a French drain, right? French drain, you say, I know I can't keep the water out of my house. I know I can't keep it out of my house. So I've got to accept that some water is going to come in. We're going to pump it out and get it out of the way. We're going to redirect the garbage out of the house. Well, that's what I want to do with the conspiracy theorists. I want to get them the fuck out of here because they're wasting my time. They're wasting your time. And while you're trying to learn, they cause you to jump through a bunch of hoops so that you can actually demand single payer and demand paid family and medical leave and demand green energy, etc. These people literally are a block to progress. And they come running around acting like they are progressive. And folks, if you're cock-blocking progress, you're not a progressive. You're a loser. You got the big old L, le, so her, loser. Okay? And what I'm trying to do here is save lives. I'm not academia, although I got stuff behind me to back that up that I could say I'm academic. I'm an activist. And I'm taking the work of academics and I'm trying to turn it into something useful. Not just a bunch of math equations. Not just a bunch of like diagrams somewhere off in the dark resources of some ivory tower. I'm trying to give you this stuff so it's actionable, right? I'm assuming, and if I'm making the wrong assumption here, let me know. I am assuming that progressives want single payer. Do we want single payer? Because I see an awful lot of dullards that say they do, but they absolutely do everything in their power to make it not happen. Do you want to live? I'm assuming you do. I'm assuming you want to live. Well, if you do, and I'm assuming you tell the truth when you say you want to save our planet and make it inhabitable, I'm assuming that you actually believe the science. And I'm assuming that you believe that we're at an event horizon, that if we don't make action soon, that we're all going to die for real. Not like the bullshit gold bugs, but the real shit, the freaking environment becoming uninhabitable. If that's the case, why in the world do you sit there and freaking cock-block economic truth? Why are you telling me about debt and deficits when the earth may not be inhabitable in the next 10 years? I'm just spitballing with you guys. I'm just spitballing. Why is it that you feel it's appropriate to allow idiocy to infect our movement and give it a voice and give it like any credibility when then on the flip side you come back and you tell me you're concerned that the planet won't be inhabitable? Hook a brother up. Tell me why that is. Why do you allow them to do that? I don't understand it, nor do I want to understand it, quite frankly. I got a zero focus. It's like straightforward. Learn how federal financing works so we can enact the plans and programs that we need to save lives and save the planet. It's that simple. Anything beyond that is a complete and utter waste of time. Exactly. Tom Murphy, do deficits matter to a dead planet? Dude, that is like the ultimate comment. I'm putting that up on the board. Thank you, sir. That is beast mode. That's exactly the point. Well, they should matter anyway, because the reality is that public deficits, get this, public deficits are private surpluses. In other words, you and I have enough money to survive. Okay? But when they cut it to the bone and you and I can't survive, then we can't protest climate. We can't take a month away from work if we need to. We can't do anything. We're so to the bone that we're living for the man. And then the planet dies, your kids die, we all die, we're dead. And so these dullards, these ignoramuses, these bozos, these conspiracy theorists that live and die to destroy progress, that run around cascading shit around. And there's one particular guy who I won't mention, who I interviewed a long time ago, that sat there, couldn't look me in the eye, did one of these things when he talked to me. And, you know, he looked like kind of off over here. And you know something? And there's like $120 trillion in counterfeit money. And any kind of economic discussion needs to talk about the $120 trillion of counterfeit money. And this is no joke, folks. This is the kind of shit that your kids are going to die for, so that people like this can get their 2 minutes of freaking conspiracy hard on. I mean, what do you think people like this do in the dark recesses of their basement as they work through these things? I mean, I don't even want to tell you what goes through my mind when I think about what they're doing in private, okay? But these buffoons, these people, are a cancer to progress. And they are absolutely convinced that they're right. And this, my friends, is the absolute antithesis of progress. The antithesis. Yes, we do, Kat. Yes, we do. So, ultimately, remember this. As we trudge forward, the academics, they sit there and they say this stuff in very academic ways. They're not really making a whole lot of effort to bring it down to the common man. They want to talk in a way that stroke their chin as they explain it. Right. Right, yeah, right. And then you've got the other folks that are just sitting there literally tripping over themselves to say, nah, they're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong, okay? And then you got me sitting here in the middle. I'm like this guy that's ready to punch you in the throat and at the same time speaks academic. So I got like that bridge between divides, and that's my role in this game. I'm here to take the knowledge of the academics and make it useful to the proles, make it useful to the activist community. The question is, why is the activist community more enraptured by conspiracy than useful knowledge? What is wrong? What is wrong? Why are they so apt to go after conspiracies and ignore the truth? What does that say about them as people? Seriously, what does that say about them as people? It says something, trust me. It says something about who and what they are. I feel sorry for them, quite frankly, because I refuse to lay down and die. I'm here to fight, and I'm here to use my brain, and I'm here to use all the information available to debunk myths, to destroy legends, and seek pure, 100% unadulterated, 200-proof truth. And its truth is the starting point of making progress. When you come up with conspiracy theories, you are literally derailing the truth-seeking and forcing us to ignore getting people's lives saved. I mean, seriously, think about this for a minute, folks. Put this into your brain when I'm off the air and think to yourself, when these folks are spreading these conspiracies about the Fed, and they're spreading these conspiracies about private banking cartels, and they're spreading these conspiracies about the coming economic collapse, and they're talking about gold standard, and they start showing you obscure articles about China and Russia and gold and Libya and gold and gold and gold. When you start seeing this, you know that you're dealing with something that's slightly less than valuable. You're dealing with something that is an obstruction and a distraction. And I call them distractivists. Distractivists. Okay? Hobbyists that are more enthralled with the Kardashians of politics, these conspiracy theories, that they can sit down, they can pop their popcorn, they can talk like they know something edgy. And the reality is pretty fucking bad on its face. When you get past all the conspiracy shit and you realize, point blank, our Congress simply is choosing to let us suffer, you and I suffer. How much more of a conspiracy do you need than that? Do you really, really need like lizard people and shit for you to feel good about yourself? Do you really need to hate the Jews just to feel good about this? Can't you just accept that until we get a good Congress, a Congress that understands macroeconomic reality, you're never going to get any of these things that we say we want? Isn't that enough of a fight? Do you really, really need to create a Jew army that you hate, that you have to fight to take down the Rothschilds? Do you really need that? Is that level of idiocy what you need to be able to make progress? Wouldn't it be better just to deal in the real and accept that Congress, per Article 1, Section 8, has the power of the purse strings, and they alone create new net financial assets, and they alone, Congress, creature of Congress, the Federal Reserve, was created by Congress. So do me a favor, people, friends, activists, people that give a shit about the planet and their children. Tell the conspiracy theorists, go suck an egg, okay? Go tell them you're in the business of saving lives, and they're in the business of derailing that. Now step aside, because they're doing nothing for this movement. They're doing nothing for this movement. They're a waste of time. They're a waste of space. And it's time to get the whole fractional reservists the hell out of the picture, because they're doing nothing but destroying progress. So with that, I'm Steve Grumbine. Tonight we'll have Joe Firestone on in a special 3-person panel. I'll let you the surprise be for you all to see. Join us tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great time, everybody. I'm out.